We're going to do the nitration of methyl benzoate, and we have our main three reagents that we're going to be working with, going to be concentrated sulfuric acid, and these, you have to be very, very careful when working with these reagents because they can cause some damage to you. Okay, and concentrated nitric acid, and the third reagent is the methyl benzoate. So initially we're going to have a setup. We're going to have to cool our reagents down, combine them, and then we will let them interact and work, okay? So initially we're going to take our test tube. We have a 1 milliliter pipette, and we're going to, on this particular one, remove the top, and we're going to add 0.4 Here we go. To our cooled test tube. Okay. And next we're going to add concentrated nitric acid, same amount. Initially, let's put this back. I'm going to do it this way, proper way here. Okay. Quick. Kind of put it eye level so that you can tell exactly how much you've got. We want 0.4 milliliters. That's close. It's always good, too, to have partners with you so that when one might need some little help, got the nitric acid. I'm going to put this one away. We will not be using that again, but we will be using in our next test tube that's been cooling down. We're going to add methyl benzoate. Okay. And we want 0.6 of the methyl benzoate. Okay. Right. And to that, we're going to add the concentrated sulfuric acid. That's the nitric. We don't want that. Sulfuric. We're going to add 1.2 milliliters. Since this is a 1 milliliter pipette, we're going to go ahead and add the 1 milliliter first. That's 1 milliliter. And then we're going to add 0.2 to it. Great. Fact. Okay, 5 minutes to cool down. Okay, so we'll let them sit. Okay, now we waited out 5 minutes. We're going to take from the sulfuric acid, nitric acid mixture, dropwise, into the methyl benzoate sulfuric acid mixture. We're going to just drop this dropwise to it. As we mix, add it, we're going to mix with the stirring rod, glass stirring rod.
They were decent. They're doing methyl against it.
Keeping it cool inside the ice. That's our mixture. Now we're going to take it out of the ice bath and let it warm up to room temperature, about 15 minutes. Okay, we've set this for 15 minutes, our mixture. And now we're going to take this, we want to crystallize it. So we're going to now take that and pour it over 5 grams of ice that's already weighed out into a small beaker. We're just going to pour this over the ice.
Distance.
Look at that. Nice, crystallized.
Hold on.
Okay, product here. Nitration. Once it's still ice in there, we're going to let that ice melt into it.
While it's melting, you can talk about the filtration.
Okay.
Set.
So while that's melting, next we're going to filter that because we want to separate out our product. We want to determine what our yield is after going through this procedure. And what we're going to do is filter that into what we call, using our Hirsch funnel. We used to call it in the old days a Buchner funnel. We have a small piece of filter paper that will fit nicely into it. Without the filter paper, you can see, it has the small mesh there, but you don't want that to, the product could go through and into those little openings and then clog them up. So we put the filter paper there so that can gather the product. Normally we have that pre-weighed filter paper. And so once we've pre-weighed it and then we let it dry and we can calculate the amount of product that we have. So this is the filter flask over here, and we then put our funnel together, just a rubber piece on top of it, and it's going to be by vacuum filtration. We'll turn on our vacuum when we're ready. Descend. One of the things we want to be sure to do is to secure your filter flask so that you don't accidentally knock it over, because that can accidentally fall over real easily, especially when you have this kind of rubber tubing connected to it. You can have an accident happen really quickly. We need to now get our filter paper. We're going to turn on our vacuum. We want to make sure our filter paper is securely nested to the bottom of our funnel. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the vacuum sucking the water through. And now we're going to pour, keeping it in towards the middle never just dump it in where the product flows over to the edge of the filter paper, because a lot of times that will go underneath the filter paper, and you don't want that to happen. Then we're going to rinse our beaker out. I'm going to use this one. Okay? I like to get to the last bit. A lot of times, too, take our water and rinse off our stirring rod. Make sure we get the maximum amount of product. See, we still have a lot of product there. Everything we leave reduces our yield. We want to make sure that that's, whoops, look at that. Okay, it's pretty good. We try to clean that, get that beaker pretty clean there. And now, I don't know if it can. Kind of show you what we've got here. The last step is to now rinse that with methanol.
Suspect.
And we're going to use a 0.5 milliliter of methanol. I have about 1 milliliter in there. I'm going to take about half of this. It doesn't have to really be quantitative, but you don't want to get too much. We don't want to start dissolving our product. We want to keep just to wash it out. A little bit more. Used about half of that. Another thing, when you're putting that in your filter flask, you always, of course, want to look at the tip of your funnel. Make sure that it's pointed away from that edge and that your funnel tip is long enough to go past the arm of the filter flask, so you don't start sucking out your liquid into your vacuum area. Okay? Right. Now we're going to take it, we're going to let it dry. Generally, a lot of times it takes maybe overnight. It will have to dry. Then we're going to measure, because before you put the filter paper in, we're going to always weigh your filter paper and then let it dry overnight. And when you come back to your next lab, you can weigh the product, and then we're going to end up taking a melting point to identify that the product you expected to get is what you got, using your melting point determination. Okay, simple as that. Always be sure to clean up after you have finished. Take all of your equipment, pour out the water, throw away your trash, dump out any remaining reagents that you might have into your waste beaker, and wash your dishes, put them away, and you're all done. Gloves, key here, be careful about the nitric acid, concentrated nitric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. All right, have a good day.